You stand in a narrow hallway that smells like mildew, old grease, and hot drywall dust. Your boots are planted on stained carpet that gives slightly under your weight. The apartment building is older than everyone on your team. Thin walls, cheap wiring, narrow choke points, a place designed long before anyone imagined clearing it room by room with rifles and radios. Then the lights die. Not flicker, not dim, gone. The breaker snaps somewhere deep in the building, and the hallway collapses into blackness so complete it feels physical. Your world shrinks to breath, pressure, and sound. The soft hiss of your headset, the rustle of nylon, the scrape of a boot sole shifting 1 inch. You are last in the stack. Your heart hits so hard against your ribs that for one panicked second you are sure the others can hear it. You clamp your jaw until your molars ache. Your gloves feel too tight. Sweat gathers at the base of your neck under body armor that suddenly feels twice as heavy. No one speaks. The point man clicks on his weapon light for half a second. A white slice of hallway appears. Peeling paint, a shoe rack overturned, family photos hanging crooked on the wall. Then darkness again. Your team leader raises one hand. Hold. You stop breathing to listen. Farther down the hall, something shifts. A door hinge, a footstep, or the building settling. In darkness, every sound lies. You are 6 months into probation on SWAT. Not a full member, not trusted yet, not protected by history or reputation. You are here because someone signed off on your scores and decided you were useful enough to fill the last position in the stack. Useful, replaceable, temporary. That is how it started. Not tonight, years ago. Before the black hallways and live warrants and body armor, there was patrol. Graveyard shifts, 12-hour nights that became 14 when reports piled up. Domestic calls in cramped kitchens, drunks bleeding on sidewalks, traffic stops at 2 a.m. under flickering street lamps. You learned quickly that most danger arrived looking ordinary. SWAT was always there in the background, a separate species. They arrived in armored trucks and moved like one machine. No wasted words, no visible fear. They looked like certainty. You thought that was what you wanted. So you started the process. Fitness tests at dawn, timed runs, weighted carries, obstacle courses that made your lungs feel sandblasted. You shaved seconds where you could, gave up weekends, stopped drinking, ate out of plastic containers in the squad room while everyone else ordered takeout. Then firearms, thousands of rounds, paper targets first, then steel, then moving drills. Low light, malfunction clearing, stress shoots with instructors leaning over your shoulder waiting for the first mistake. They never shouted when you failed. That was worse. They just wrote notes. Late transition to sidearm, tunnel vision under stress, missed verbal cue, slow on second threshold. You learned that in this world, every flaw was documented. Every hesitation had a timestamp. Selection was not one event, it was erosion. Months of proving you could take correction without ego, that you could be tired without becoming careless, that fear made you quieter instead of reckless. When they finally put the probationary patch on your sleeve, nobody congratulated you. Your team sergeant handed you your equipment inventory sheet and said, "Don't make us regret this." That was the closest thing to welcome. Your life narrowed after that. Wake at 0500. Conditioning, briefing, patrol shift or training block. Breaching drills in condemned houses, room clearing in abandoned schools, hallway movement until your knees ached from crouching, stairwells, hallways, doorways, angles, crossfire discipline, blueprints, medical protocols, gas deployment, shield work. Repetitions stripped everything soft out of you. You stopped telling stories at home because there was nothing to explain that someone outside could understand. Your partner stopped asking how your day was because your answers became shorter every month. Fine, busy, training. Your phone filled with unread messages from friends who stopped inviting you after the third canceled dinner. Your world became fluorescent-lit briefing rooms, sweat-soaked mats, and instructors replaying helmet footage frame by frame. There, on screen, hesitation looked worse than it felt. A half-second pause at a doorway became a flaw in judgment. A missed corner became a casualty scenario. A rushed entry became a funeral. No one ever said hero. They said procedure, containment, liability, chain of command.
SWAT was not glory, it was controlled risk managed by paperwork. You learned the real hierarchy quickly. Officially, rank mattered. Unofficially, memory mattered more. Who had made good calls under pressure? Who froze once and never fully recovered? Who could be trusted in silence? Trust here was not warmth, it was math. If a hallway narrowed to one lane, who went first? If rounds came through drywall, who held discipline? If someone bled out, who kept working? You were still an unknown variable, which is why tonight matters. The warrant was supposed to be controlled. Target, male, 36, prior violent felony, known firearm possession. Location, second floor, apartment, rear corner. Time on target, 22:14. Entry team, 6. Your role, rear security, secondary coverage. Simple on paper. Nothing is simple inside walls. The scream comes from the back room. High, sharp, sudden. Everyone hears it. The sound cuts through your headset and lodges in your spine. Your team leader turns slightly. Even in darkness, you feel the shift in the stack. A hand signal passes forward. Move. The line compresses. The man in front of you advances one slow step, then another. You mirror him, muzzle tracking where memory says the hallway bends. Your weapon light stays off. Too much light in the wrong moment blinds everyone. Your breathing sounds huge. In training, they told you fear never leaves. Anyone who says otherwise is lying or dangerous. Fear is information. The trick is not to obey it. Your body wants to flatten against the wall, to become small, to wait for someone older, calmer, better to solve this. But there is no space for that in a stack. If you freeze, the man behind you stops, then the one behind him, then the whole machine stalls in a hallway built for ambush. You are part of the pressure now.
You remember a drill from 3 months ago. Dark structure, sim rounds. You hesitated at a threshold because you thought you saw movement. It was a curtain. Your instructor watched the footage with the room lights off. Fear makes people wait for certainty, he said. Certainty gets people killed. At the time, it sounded like a slogan. Tonight, it sounds like instruction. The stack reaches the final bend. Your team leader gives a closed fist. Stop. Then 2 fingers. Rear hold. Your stomach drops. That means you cover the hall while the others move, alone for a second, maybe 3, maybe 10. Long enough. You pivot, knees bent, rifle steady, barrel aimed into blackness where the front door sits 30 feet away. Somewhere beyond it are stairwells, windows, blind corners, unknowns stacked on unknowns. This is the part nobody sees in recruitment posters. Not speed, not impact, not noise. Waiting. The building groans softly around you. Pipes tick in the walls. A baby cries in another unit, muffled and unaware. Somewhere downstairs, a television keeps playing, life continuing 1 floor below a warrant service. You feel suddenly how small your role is. 5 years to get here, hundreds of tests, thousands of rounds, missed birthdays, a strained marriage now reduced to careful conversations about schedules and groceries, a life rearranged around readiness. And still, in the only moment that matters, you are just one body holding one angle in the dark. The realization is strangely clean. The system never promised meaning, only function. You joined because you thought elite meant control, that enough training could push chaos to the edges. But the truth is colder. The system survives because it teaches people how to stand inside uncertainty without collapsing. That is all. Not courage, not destiny, endurance. The back room crashes open. Light floods the hall, weapon lights, sharp and blinding. Clear. The suspect is down, tased after charging from behind a mattress barricade. The scream came from a woman zip-tied in a closet, alive, shaken, breathing. Your team moves like nothing extraordinary happened. Cuffs, sweep, medical, evidence photos, times logged, statements taken. Your team leader walks past you in the now lit hallway. He pauses just long enough to look at you. You held. 2 words. Then he keeps moving. That is all you get. At 0340, you are back at the station writing your report under fluorescent lights that make everyone look tired and old. You document times, distances, suspect behavior, lighting conditions, facts, sequence, justification. Outside, dawn starts turning the sky gray. You catch your reflection in the dark computer monitor. Same face, same uniform,
But something is shifted, not broken, not hardened into myth, just altered. You understand now that this job is not a summit. There is no final arrival, no day when fear disappears or the machine finally tells you that you belong. There will be more warrants, more stairwells, more silence before doors open. One day, years from now, your knees may ache climbing steps. Your hearing may carry radio static long after retirement. You may hand your gear to someone younger whose hands shake the way yours once did. He will think this is about proving himself. You will know better. The trucks will still roll, the rosters will update, new names will fill old slots, reports will be filed, doors will open in the dark. The system will keep moving, clean and indifferent, long after your pulse is no longer part of it. And somewhere, in another narrow hallway, another rookie will learn the same thing you did. Fear never leaves. You just learn how to step forward while carrying it.